You know, I've been seeing the concept of forever worlds pop up more and more lately, and I thought to myself, hey, I have one of those. And then it hit me, I really don't have one. My so-thought forever world was long gone due to corruption and missing statistics, something I really value in my worlds. So I realized that this was not the forever world I wanted to keep playing in, and that's what brings me here today to start a new forever world. My name is Zona, and I like to call this world Zonacraft. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and get started covering what we've done in the world so far. Just outside of spawn, we found a village and quickly got to work corralling all the villagers into a single house to make a small breeder. And once we had enough villagers, we made our first structure of the world, a small house for us to trade with the villagers in. But we needed something to trade with the villagers, and so I built a rather large sugarcane farming area. Farming the sugarcane by hand quickly became old, so we moved on to our first legit farm of the world, an iron farm. And this thing produces way too much for a single player world probably. And here's where the story might get a little bit interesting. You see, this world was originally created as a hardcore world, and this was supposed to be episode 1 of our hardcore let's play. Something I've been trying to record for quite a while, and for some reason it just keeps on not working out. Well, maybe it's because I'm really bad at the game. So after making a zombie XP farm underneath our village here, I went ahead and AFK for the night, and surprisingly I made it through the night and had no issues. But once I decided to leave the hole I was AFKing in, there was a horde of zombies waiting to eat my face, and they definitely ate all of it. So then I was stood there with a choice. Do I rise back up, create a new world, and finally prove that I can successfully survive in a hardcore world, beating the odds and proving everyone So once I accepted myself as a failure, I realized the tiny shack we've been using to store things was too small, and we started to build a larger house for a storage room. But of course I built just enough to call it a house and save the detailing of it for later. And to add a little more controversy to the episode here, the next thing we built was an AFK fish farm, but I'm only interested in a few items from this farm. With that being said, the books can be helpful every once in a while, but we mainly built it to have a decent source for nautilus shells, lily pads, and pufferfish for when we need those items on occasion. And you may have noticed in those clips I am wearing an elytra. So we did make it to the end and defeat the dragon. With that being said, it did take a couple tries. I died a couple times, once again proving why I can absolutely not be in a hardcore world. But after a couple of tries, we were able to defeat the dragon and secure ourselves the elytra. So far in our world, we've gotten almost every essential book from our villagers. We've built ourselves a starter house, and we've made a pretty good iron farm. So I would say we've completed just about every beginning task of a world that we need to. And now we can focus on just building for a little bit. So let's go ahead and finish this village. figure since we made some pretty good progress on the village, we can go ahead and walk around for a little bit and point some things out. So right now we're in the top of the storage house, and these are just a few things that I have laying around up here along with my bed. Some mementos up here, like first armors, first tools and whatnot, first elytra, our first trial key, spawn block, among other things. So we did finally just upgrade to 1.21. This world was made in 1.20, but now we're in our main storage room. We have our storage over here on this side, and then a furnace and some shulkers over here on the other side. And then we come out of the front door here, and we just built this little marketplace not too long ago. I went ahead and put a beacon in, so we have fought the wither and gotten a nether star for that. I'm super happy with the way this market area turned out. I'm happy with the little details each market stall has. We're still looking to put some more in there, some food stalls and whatnot, and make sure each stall is kind of themed to its own thing. And I did want to point this out. This is our to-do list. I just finished this retaining wall, so we can take that off now. But this is kind of the rest of the things we have to do in our village here. We'll probably end up adding some more smaller things here and there. But we're over probably halfway done with this village, and it's been a long project for me. I've been in this world for about a year. I've just been playing off and on here. But we are now in our old sugarcane farming area, and we have a few odd farms here and there. We have a bamboo farm and a cactus farm over to the right here. And this big thing right here is a shulker box unloader into a crafter into a shulker box loader. This is mainly for the iron farm. I didn't want to build this underneath until I kind of figured out how the crafter worked and whatnot. I still don't fully understand it, but I got the basics down, I think. So that's just crafting iron into iron blocks right now and putting it back in the shulker box. And then heading over to these few houses, I never actually showed us building them just because they're a little smaller, but we got a lava farm in this one. Just to make sure we don't need to use coal or anything for smelting. But that'll definitely be taken out and be decorated probably at some point once I get a bigger lava farm. And then over here we have some more villagers, mainly for the glass trade, for a future project. And then this third little house over here doesn't have anything in it currently. We're not 100% sure what we're doing. We're thinking about putting villagers in there, just haven't had to yet. Then coming over to our barn, we have some horses roaming around and some horses in the stables here. We got a couple skeleton horses from a thunderstorm. And then over here we actually have a chicken coop as well. And then coming over to the farmhouse here, we are actually farming honey in the farmhouse. I think we have about 8 beehives there. And then we're also breeding some bees underneath this just to make sure whenever we want to build a bigger honey farm that we have enough beehives and whatnot. The new update also made that a whole lot easier. You can actually see how many bees are in a beehive now, which is amazing. Okay, and let's go ahead and take a look at what we have gotten from the trial chambers. So we have done a couple of them, one here in the spawn chunks and then the other one a few hundred blocks the other way. I have done them a total of probably around 6 times, about 3 times each. Looking at this first shulker here, we have kind of what I care the most about for the mob drops. We have some slime balls, which are useful in the early game when you don't have a slime farm. And then what we're kind of mainly focused on here is the breeze rod and wind charges. Those are kind of the main things you're redoing the trial chambers for. And I think the wind charge is going to be very helpful when you're building. So I'm definitely excited for that. This one we just have some random blocks, nothing really of note in there. And then we have the beauty shulker, we have the banner patterns, trim and music discs. And then we have quite a few extra ominous trial keys just because we have done it so many times. So theoretically I could just go into a trial and open the vaults for that and not even have to do it. But we have gotten some decent loot from there. And then before I forget, we do actually have the mace and the ender chest here. Went ahead and enchanted it and got density 4. I believe that's the one that adds more damage when you fall. And I've definitely been enjoying the trial chambers for now, and they actually have some good replayability, at least for now. I'm sure at some point I won't be as willing to do them as much. But I think we're gonna knock a few more things off of this list. I think the next thing I want to do is the entrance towers right here, along with the port or dock at the bottom here. So I think we'll do another quick montage for that, and then I'll be back. And I think we're ready to call our starter village done. There might be a few things here and there that I still want to do, but for the most part, this place is pretty much wrapped up. A little bit of a jump cut from when we did the lighthouse there to now with all the smaller details. We're gonna blame that on me getting a little sick. I still am on the tail end of that right now. You might be able to hear it in my voice. But we did add a big dock area here, or a big storage area here for everything coming from the dock. A little port house here for whoever probably the headmaster of the port is, whatever you would want to call them. They can sit up there and look over the port, making sure everything's going okay. We added a wheat field here on the left side of the village with a little path going all the way around to the front of the barn. Going here into the barn, we have some hay and a little wagon here with a little trailer on it. Look at the barn, I could definitely use a couple more things in here, so I might go ahead and do that at some point. One of the main things I went ahead and did was add a whole bunch of grass and flowers here. It's something I've never really done before, but it adds just a little bit of like overgrownness to where it feels lived in almost. I'm probably butchering explaining that, but I just like the look of it is what I'm saying. But as we continue our way through the village, if you guys have a name suggestion for our village here, go ahead and leave that in the comments below. I am horrible at naming things. Over here we have a new house that we haven't seen yet. I went ahead and just put in our enchantment table in here instead of behind our main house over there, along with a couple of anvils. We have a little bench area right here. Just broke some grass. I'm gonna be doing that a lot probably. And here we have another little tree with a couple more benches and a couple of lights. But this is definitely the coolest start I've had in a Minecraft world by far. And it just makes me excited to think about how long I'll be playing in the world for. Because again, this is my forever world. I don't plan on making another survivor world, and this will always be the world I plan to play in from now on. But thank you if you made it this far, if you're still watching. Subscribe if you want to follow our world, like and comment if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, and did I mention I built ENX Forest Raid Farm?